Hey, hey,
What's up, youngster?
hey. I'm doing okay. What about you?
I'm cool, just relaxing.
Are you off tonight?
Yeah. Mhm.
Oh, okay.
I still got Tuesday night and Wednesday nights off.
Oh, okay. I figured, man. I know you probably been just resting these past few weeks.
Yeah. Plus, like I was telling you, you have to give your mind a rest too.
Yeah, yeah. I definitely understand where you're coming from with that.
You have to be quiet for a little while. So your mind can rejuvenate, so it can accumulate more
Right.
information. Because if you just
Right.
keep going over the same thing, you know, it means you're not learning. You're not accumulating anything new.
Right.
And if you're not accumulating anything new, it means you're not growing. But when I heard that conversation last night, I'm like, oh my God, who is this nigga he talking to? And you know how I am about you. I'm very protective over what people say to you. You know, I'm like,
Who is this nigga?
yeah, I'm just telling you. You know, um, how he say, um, demanding, saying that you deserve more is feminine. You must got you one of them unsatisfied women that's always telling you, I deserve more. So he'll take that saying, and the way that he uses it in the context that he puts it in is is a bit insidious. And he tries to make that a male and female thing. He tries to make it a universal thing. It's not a universal thing. You have that perception of that behind some woman that was dissatisfied with you, that kept telling him, I deserve more, so I want more, and that angered him. And so simply because it comes from a woman and he can't supply what she needs, then he figures that when someone says that they feel as though they deserve better, then it's a feminist thing. No, it's not a feminist thing. That's a personal thing. It's a personal thing. If I know the substance of my gift and I know the validity of it, like I was telling you last night, the only thing we have to do is outthink the system and learn how to use the system so that we can get better, because we know that our gift is has great substance, and that's where it comes from when you say I deserve better, because you know the real substance of your gift, but the way he's talking, I'm like, oh my God, this has to be one of the stupidest conversations I've ever heard in my life. And what you need to do, you need to stop trying to tell people how to take things. This is a beautiful conversation. No, no, no. It might be beautiful to you. It might not be beautiful to me.
Yeah, I see that now.
Because what you have to learn how to do, Josh, you have to stop being concerned about how people are gonna feel if you disagree with them. I hear that in you a lot. And nobody's gonna sit up here and tell me some stuff like that. And I'm not gonna agree to that. Well, how this person know that they know better. That's a feminist thing, and that causes a lot of stress. It doesn't cause me stress because I know exactly what my gift is. I know the like I say, I know the substance. I know the value of my gift. And looking at my present situation, which is actually getting better, I know that I'm going to get what I know that I deserve based on the substance and the value of my gift. There's nothing wrong with you demanding of yourself better. You know what you deserve. Work towards
Right.
it and get it. You know, that's equivalent to those that Christian stuff. Well, I don't want to, only God knows what I deserve. Yeah, that's why you lost. Because if you don't know what you deserve, how are you even going to um, know it when it does show up? Simply because you say, well, God's going to show me what I deserve. I mean, that's a contradiction. And then that's also based on this it's equivalent to that stuff that the Israelites was talking about, that they cursed, you know. So wait a minute, you saying don't do anything because you curse, and that's the same thing as saying I don't know what, saying that you deserve better is a feminist thing, or saying that you deserve better is wrong, or saying that I don't know. I mean, who is anybody to say that they deserve better? Dude, you ain't never gonna get nowhere thinking the way you thinking. That is Christian based thinking. Only God knows what I deserve, So you mean to tell me you don't know what you putting on this earth for? And evidently you haven't found out exactly what your gift is. That's just like a while back, a book publishing company wanted to give me $57,000 for Dawn of Redemption. I told them no.
Right.
And people say, I would have took that $57,000. Absolutely not. No, Dawn of Redemption is worth millions.
Yeah. Now, if they would have said 5.7 million, then you'd probably be like, okay, maybe.
Mm-hmm. However, you have to be wise, because even if they say we'll give you $5.7 million for Dawn of Redemption, which really implies it's worth $10 million.
Yeah, because that's how the white man do.
Because you ain't gonna throw $57,000 in my pocket and then take that idea and spread it out. See, because you better believe when they went through it, they say, "Oh, this is going to take at least a week." Because look at all of the dialogue, and a lot of this dialogue has to remain because it's beautiful dialogue. So let's just go ahead and just pay him off. Just give him $57,000 and offer him. We'll give you $57,000 if you sign over Dawn of Redemption. Absolutely not going to happen. Because the only thing you're going to do, you're going to take it and you're going to make millions with it.
Yeah, because if they offer you $20 million, they probably going to make at least $200 off of you.
Mm-hmm.
And that's just like basketball. They offer these big contracts to these young brothers, but they don't ever wonder, like, dang, if they give me $100 million like it's nothing, then they probably making $10 billion on the low from me.
It is nothing to them. It's like these basketball players, these athletes, you might as well say. Oh man, they offer me a $140 million contract. That ain't no money to these people. That's the reason why they can give out that kind of money. Millions doesn't mean anything anymore. We're up in the billions now. That's just like in the 70s, $100 was a big deal. Going into the 80s, hundreds of thousands of dollars was a big deal. And then you go into the early 90s, then that's when the millions were a big deal. Like when people had $50 million, $100 million and stuff, it was a big deal in the 90s. But now we're in the billions, and what people is, they've been struggling for so long, and their self-esteem have been beat down, and everybody's been accepting these crumbs and that they've been throwing from the table, which is the $100 million contracts and all of that stuff. And you think that, oh, I ain't gonna never have to work for the rest of my life. Yeah, but you got to pay taxes on that money every year, and your past is going to interfere with your present, and so you're going to start spending a whole lot of extra money trying to live big. You got all these people who you're trying to floss in front of, and especially if you black. You got family members you haven't seen in 10, 15 years coming at you, and since you want to be the big man, you're going to give everybody thousands of dollars, and then within 5 to 7 years, you're going to look around and you're going to be broke.
Yeah, like MC Hammer, that's what happened to him.
Yeah, so millions of dollars, actually, people actually think millions of dollars is actually money. That's not no money. You guys need to keep up. Keep up. Because the common thing right now is billions. It's not the millions no more. We're talking about billions now.
You got them young men in Silicon Valley, man. A lot of times they get bought out. Them apps they be making and stuff, and they get bought out for billions of dollars. And I'm talking these cats be like 23, 24, becoming billionaires.
Mm-hmm.
And it also helps they're white and Asian a lot of times too,
Mm-hmm. But the only thing I think you need to stop doing is allowing your depression to put you in a position to where you start agreeing with things that you're not thinking about when folks are telling you. You have to upgrade, you might as well say, your insight. While people is talking to you, you have to be able to see what they're saying and determine if you agree or not. See,
you're right.
Because when I was hearing that last night, I'm like, he's not listening to this dude. He's listening to him audibly, but Josh is not really hearing. He's not really hearing what this dude is saying. I put it like this: you was hearing him, but you wasn't listening to him.
Right. I was hearing with my ears audibly, but I wasn't really paying attention to him on an intuitive level.
Yeah. You wasn't using your insight because you wasn't feeling good that night. I can tell you was deep. You was down. You was depressed, and I was thinking it's probably his dad been on his case or something like that. Something's been going on, but like I said, I'm like, nope.
I'm definitely gonna have to listen to that conversation again probably tonight. Then that way I can understand. Even if I can hear myself, then
yeah. You have to listen to both people talking, because when I listen to myself, these past conversations, especially when I was going through that slow season, that was the lowest point in my life, and that was the afraidest that I've ever been, because I was hit with a fear that I never felt before, and I was willing to just leave. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I remember I didn't like the way you was talking some night. You was talking about like you was gonna wipe yourself out. I didn't like hearing that. Not from you.
But all at the same time, I was put in a situation where I felt like there was absolutely nothing that I can do about it. And so I told the Creator, if you are indeed real, you better show up this time. You better show up this time, because if you don't show up, I'm going to destroy every single thing that you put in me, that you put on this earth for everybody else. But this humiliation in front of my family, I'm not going to accept it. So you better, you have to come through. And it came through. Because the Creator saw, well, he's willing to go there, because I've dealt with enough humiliation and stuff like that, and I wasn't gonna stand there and be humiliated in front of my sons like that. It was just not gonna happen. So it all worked out, and I learned a whole lot about myself, and actually I've gained a lot more confidence with the Creator, actually, even though I'm still pissed.
Yeah, I know what you're saying.
And I'm gonna always be pissed. I came to accept that last week. See, because life is too inconsistent to have a steady confidence and love for the Creator. It's impossible. That's why they got religion and lie to you. Oh, I love God, even when I'm down. No, you don't. No, you do not. Okay? God, why? God, why? So you on your knees asking something, why? And at the same time, you telling me you love it? No, you just feel helpless. And
a lot of times it's that fear. People think that if they be too honest, like how you be, or whatever, they go to hell or whatever. Well, you're already in hell. You might as well be honest.
Yeah, you might as well speak your mind and demand that thing to show itself. Demand it. And stop begging it. And start demanding it. Because I'm like this. Like I used to always say, we didn't ask to come here. So I ain't asking you for nothing. I ain't asking you for nothing because I didn't ask to come here. There was no agreement that we made. They say, okay, I'll go down there and I'll go do this. No, because that's against my character. That's against my character. I'd said no. You know, but like I always say, you know, we're thrown into something without our conscious consent. You might as well say, and we have to deal with it. And it's inconsistent. You know, it's inconsistent, and so the whole life journey is very, you might as well say, predictably unpredictable. And so by it being that way, there's no way in the world that my gripe against the Creator is ever going to go away. Because
yeah. You have a fluid relationship with it, you know. Some days you angry and annoyed, and other days you at peace, and you're at peace with being that way.
Mm-hmm. You know, because it's no consistency in it. You know, and then we have to go through these trials, in order to learn. Okay, for how long? Do we ever get to a point in our lives to where, okay, we've already learned everything we're supposed to learn. Now, can you leave me the fuck alone and just let me live the rest of my life in peace and contentment? Is that possible?
That's why it all goes back to that mindset of God's testing you. That's what people get in that crap. I threw that away a long time ago because it felt like to me God is insatiable.
Yeah.
Can't never satisfy the nigga if he always testing you every 5 seconds.
And you want to know something? Somebody, my dad had told me that. He used the word test. I said, I thought this was the all-knowing and the all-wise. He said, he is, I'm just using his word. He is the almighty and the all-wise. I said, Daddy, if you a teacher, okay, the only way that you could test me, you have to first give me some information. And you have to give me time to master that information. And then you have to see if I mastered that information by throwing certain questions at me, waiting to see if I give you the right answers. Now, if you don't know if I'm giving you the right answers, then you can't tell me that that's a God of the all-knowing. And then it says, well, God already knows what you're going to do before you do it. Well, then what's the testing for? If it already knows what I'm going to do before I do it, when I do bad, then that's the way you made me. So why do I have to suffer behind it? Nothing makes sense.
Yeah, that's why, I still got an energy of, I guess you can say screw God or screw what we've been known as taught as God, because it ain't working for us.
No, it's not. And if this thing is not actually the author of confusion but of peace, well, you damn sure didn't learn that in Christianity or Islam.
No, because all I've ever seen with this so-called being is confusion and war.
Yeah, and then when you look at nature, well, you have to study nature. Okay, fine. What about hurricanes and tornadoes?
That's nothing but confusion.
That's confusion. That's chaos. That's disorder. That's destruction. So what is this all about? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But the whole thing is, sometimes, Josh, you have to just sit and be still and be quiet. You know what I'm saying? Because I didn't put up pictures and a post up there, pretty much trying to tell you, sometimes you have to pause so that all of that stress and all of that stuff can come down, so that your mind can be at calm. You're not ever going to be at peace, but you will be at calm. And when
are you done? Cause I'm gonna ask you about the peace and the calm part. But I mean, if you got more to say, finish it.
Because see, while you're at calm, it means that you're no longer depressed, even though that a little bit of the depression is still there, because you're still in conflict. And if the depression is there, then the stress is there, because you got depression and you got stress. And so you're still dealing with duality. But when you're at calm, then your mind is willing to accumulate more information, and then you can grow, and your mind can breathe a little bit more better. And then as you pause and you go forward, then once you start having conversations again, you you not only notice a difference in how you perceive things and how you think things, other people who you've talked to will be able to tell, like, okay, there's something different about him. There's something, I can hear some growth in him. That's because he's paused himself, and he remained paused in order for him to become calm. Because see, that pausing, that decision to pause is a struggle. And then the pause, being able to be stilled, that right there is something too. And so while you're being stilled, you're allowing the depression to go down. And see, and there's an intelligence within the depression that tries to convince you that the depression is there for a legitimate reason when it's not. That's a lie. And then by the depression trying to tell you, I'm here for this reason because my dad is stressing me out, he's doing this. And so then the stress element feels as, tries to convince you through your frustration and everything that it's there for a reason as well. And so once you start negating all of that wicked intelligence and that deceptive intelligence, you allow yourself to become calm. And once you become calm, you're able to be stilled. And once you be stilled, then your mind is able to accumulate more information. But we're never going to be at peace. Now, that information of never going to be at peace, a lot of people may say, well, that stresses me out whenever I hear that. That's a choice. Stop choosing to be stressed out when you hear certain information. I had to learn that just last week.
Like, what did you learn? Like, what made you learn that last week?
When I was at work, there's always some managers trying to challenge me, because to them, what they don't like about me is that I'm very independent. And so they try to come at me and put me in areas, and then when they look at me, they expect me to go off. But see, what they don't understand is that when they giving me orders to do certain things, I'm looking at myself, and I'm learning myself, and I'm like, okay, I already know what they're going to say, so why am I choosing to get upset when they finish their sentence? That's a choice. So it's like once I saw that about myself, I negated that. And then after I negated it, I looked at myself and I'm like, oh, okay, I see. So getting stressed out, getting upset and all that stuff is actually a choice. It's actually a choice. We choose that. And when we realize that, you go back, you go forward from there, and you find out that a whole lot of things that you chose to get upset about, even when you wasn't conscious that you're choosing to get upset about, are things that are less superficial. They don't even have to move you. You can just keep moving forward. But go ahead.
So basically, like basically, it's kind of like a subconscious filter where you get to a point like where basically what you're saying is like you get so strong in your being or whatever that stuff don't even touch on the subconscious matter to where you don't even notice it no more in your nature.
Another word you need to throw away is strong.
Yeah, because that would imply weakness on the inverse of that.
Absolutely.
Oh, okay. See, duality. That's that duality right. You always talk about.
Duality. Strong, weak, high, low. You have to throw those away. Don't even identify with those. See, because when you don't identify with those, you're able to stay in that state of calmness. And when you hear certain information or when you give attention to certain information, it's not even a point of view. It's clarity. So you got to throw that stuff away too. That's why when you hear people use those words like strong, I'm a strong black man, I'm a strong black woman. Well, how come you're not calm?
Yeah, you ain't lying about that. Because to me, when I hear those terms, I feel like a weight.
You're right.
You know, I'm strong. It's like I feel like it's when people say it, or even sometimes when I'm saying it, a lot of times I feel like I'm fighting a war, and it's like it's the war we're trying to get away from. So it's like why we keep using terms that keep bringing up that feeling of war and fighting all the time within us.
It creates it's an image. It's the image.
Yeah. You're right. It's an image. It's a false image.
And when when you're able to see that image inside of you, then what you do, you compare yourself to that image, and all you see within yourself is weakness because you're trying to imply that you're strong. Throw them both away and just exist. That's all you got to do. Just exist. And just like it says, I am that I am. That doesn't imply strength nor weakness. Just exist. And keep your mind fresh. And always tap into your insight and choose the path on the inside. You don't necessarily have to get upset all the time. See, because if you get upset at certain things, then you're dealing with a tradition that was manufactured by this social environment. Well, I'm supposed to get upset when a white man call me a nigga. Well, why is it that you don't get upset when a black man call you a nigga? Because that's just us. It's a choice.
Yeah, you're right, and we see that on our timelines every day with them pro-black.
You know, that's just like me and my oldest son. We went to breakfast this morning because we was out taking care of some business, and we was eating at this blueberry pancake place, and we started talking about how to deal with the police, and I was just telling him that no matter what they say to me and stuff like that, they can say nigga and stuff like that. I'm not gonna respond to that. Why are you nigga? Okay, well, you know, sorry you feel that way, but you know, I signed a ticket. I'll cooperate. The whole thing is survive. You have to use intelligence.
Yeah, and our people, a lot of times we're too emotional. We don't never
Absolutely.
just let, they know that too. They know that the Negro mind is an emotional, so they know what triggers to pull on the ones of us who are not conscious of that.
Yeah, I mean, that's just like if you look at Power, because I've been looking at those new episodes of Power lately.
And, it's from the live drive?
Mm-hmm. And
okay, okay. For a minute, I was like, I had been meaning to tell you too that the new series. Though, okay, well, I got to add the new one in for you tonight, then.
Yeah, because if you look at those episodes, that new black attorney was very
Silver.
Yeah, he's very correct with the angry black man thing. See, everybody knows that about us. However, they created that angry black man. Now, once you know that you have been created that way, it means that you've been manufactured to be that way. Now, once you understand that you're manufactured to be that way, stop using the social conditioning and police brutality and slavery to be that way. You have to be intelligent. And
I remember you saying years ago, not to cut you off. I remember you was telling me years ago how the white man, he created people like Malcolm X and stuff, how they was all social constructs.
Yeah, and we was talking about Sandra Blanc, how she put herself in her grave behind a cigarette.
Yeah.
And that light-skinned girl, I was telling him about the light-skinned girl who had her baby in the back seat. I don't know who these people's names are, and some people I don't even want to know their names.
Right.
And I'll deal with the name thing too, because it's some power behind that too. But when she's in there, she's got her little daughter or son in the back seat, and she's telling the police, "You're going to have to kill me. You're going to take me away in a body bag." Excuse me, your child's in the back seat. And she eventually got herself killed.
Yeah.
So she had an issue anyway. When the police came to her house, they already knew how she was going to go off, because she already signed her death warrant when she told those cops that you're going to have to kill me and take me away in a body bag. And she did that while her child was in the back seat. She posed herself as an endangerment, She didn't care nothing about herself nor her child. So she posed an endangerment. So they knew when they went to their house, they was going to have a reason to kill her, and that's exactly what happened. And see, and people don't look at it like that. Now here's Sandra Blanc. She's been incorporated with this Black Lives Matter stuff. Okay, look, we all know that sometimes when people are confronted with something that makes them feel kind of uncomfortable, they try to fight against it. So they try to put on sunglasses, take a drink, or smoke a cigarette.
That's true.
That's all that was. The cop pulls you over. He just asked you, can you please put the cigarette out? He asked her. He didn't say, ma'am, put the cigarette out. He said, ma'am, can you please put the cigarette out? Now, by her being upset about what's been going on with our people, which is nothing you can do about, you can't do anything about that. And so she feels confident behind this Black Lives Matter thing that she normally and every day gives her time to. That could be a good effect, or that could be a bad effect. So she said, how come I got to put my cigarette out? You see? That's why you're dead.
Oh, man.
Now get out the car. Okay, ma'am, can you get out the car? Then he arrests her. Even if they did kill her in jail, how did she get there? How did she get to jail? She did not want to put her damn cigarette out. Come on, y'all, look at this. Look at it. Angry black woman.
Yep.
The whole thing is use your intelligence. You ain't got to get upset. Oh man, this cop pulling me over. Boy, I'm gonna go off. I know it's because I'm black. You know. Yeah, you know that. So why are you getting upset? I don't feel like being bothered with it. Can you drive away? No. Accept it. If you accept it, why don't you just deal with it? Deal with it. But he ain't had no reason to pull me over. Of course he didn't. He sure didn't. But how are you going to respond to that? Are you going to get emotional, or are you going to be intelligent about it? Because it was one time the cops pulled me and Sandra over for absolutely no reason. He made up a lie that I ran a red light. I'm like, really? Yeah, you ran a red light back there. I'm like, oh, okay. And he just went and wrote the ticket, $150. I took that $150 that he lied about downtown and paid that ticket and went on about my business.
Yeah, because something like that, I don't even think that would be even worth fighting in court, would it? Wouldn't the court cost me more than that?
The whole thing is, it ain't nothing but $150. Why are you wasting your time?
Right.
Going to court behind $150 because I'm pissed off. Okay, why don't you start being a little bit more intellectual and less emotional? So what are you proving? Whether you win or lose, what did you gain by it? Well, I was right. Okay, fine, you was right. Now, being right about that, how much further can you take that in your life? Other than bragging to your boys that you won a court case behind some cop lying on you that you ran a red light? Come on, dude, grow up. Ain't nothing but $150.
And not only that, even if you do win, that's just a Pyrrhic or a symbolic victory, meaning that it's not really a real victory at all.
It's not a victory at all, Josh. You know what I'm saying? So what?
And that's something that you see a lot of times with our people on social media. You know, I know you see it on your timeline a lot of times. People complaining and doing this and that, saying, "Oh, I'm gonna do this and that." But it's like, even if you do it, you still ain't won nothing. Not really.
What did you get out of it? What did you extract from it? That's just like when I hear people talking, ask me about the resurrection. I was like, I don't care nothing about the resurrection. What am I supposed to get out of the resurrection? Jesus rose from the grave. Okay, he rose from the grave. So what? What am I supposed to get out of that? I mean, hearing that information, what am I supposed to extract out of that? A new level of enlightenment? Because there's no enlightenment in that. There's no enlightenment in that. That's just a belief. I'm supposed to believe that. And okay, let's say I believe it. Okay. What am I supposed to get out of believing that? Nothing. It's all that stuff is empty. Getting upset because a cop pulled you over and wrote you a ticket. You think he's lying, dude. Sign that ticket. Get you and your woman home. Survive. That's what it's about. Did you get home safe with your girl? Yes. Okay. You won that battle. Yeah, but it cost me $150. But you won, didn't you? Yeah. Okay. Now, are you going to be responsible? Are you going to go down there and pay that lying ass ticket? Or are you going to let it go into warrant?
And that's how a lot of our people get jammed up. I knew one person I knew, they ended up being in jail for like 2 or 3 weeks because they didn't pay their warrant.
Yeah, I ain't going to pay that ticket because he lied. And then when it goes in the warrant, then what? The cop pull your woman over, you go to jail. Behind what? Behind he lied on me. No, behind you not paying that ticket. But he lied on me. But you still got the ticket and you still did not pay it and it still went into warrant. Come on, man. Think. Understand where the power is. If he's got the power to back up his lie, you've got the money to take that money down there to prevent them having more power over you for that ticket to go in the warrant. Come on, man. Out with the system. Survive. I'm going to sit at my computer and write. I'm not going to be sitting up in no cell, not even behind some lying cop. Okay.
Right.
The whole thing is, yep, he was lying. Every time they say, oh, he know he was lying. I said, yep, but you want to know something? We made it home. That's all that matters to me. You going to pay the ticket? Yeah, I'll pay it. I don't want it going into warrant. You got to do what you got to do, man. It's all about survival. You're living in a wicked system, and there's going to be some things that they're going to get away with. As a matter of fact, they're going to get away with a whole lot of things, but the whole thing is survive. Look at Brother Malcolm. As much as Malcolm was talking, beating the hell out of white people and the government, show me in the 60s where Malcolm spent 1 day in jail. See, nobody looks at that. That man was standing up there beating the hell out the president, beating the hell out the government, going overseas, talking to what America considers their enemies. But did he spend 1 day in jail? No. Why? Because the man was intelligent.
Never heard nobody say that, but you're right. I never read in any of the books or reports. You're right. Once he started waking up, he never did go to jail again.
Mm-hmm. He was an intelligent man. He wasn't an emotional man. Even when they didn't let him into France, when he landed in de Gaulle Airport, they told him, we can't have you coming here talking to the black people, so you're going to have to get back on the plane. Malcolm didn't start speaking right there in the airport. He just turned back around, got on a plane, went on about his business. He was intelligent. He wasn't emotional. And once our people and we individually become more intelligent and less emotional, then we won't be so easily manipulated. Now, what I heard in that conversation, you was very emotional because you was depressed, you was stressed out, and therefore Josh was just accumulating all of that bullshit. And I'm like, okay, I'm going to let that pass on his end, but I'm going to let him know you're going to have to check yourself and make sure that you don't have any conversations like that when you are stressed out. Because when you're stressed out and when you're hurt, then you're emotional, and when you're emotional, you accumulate a whole lot of information that's not good for you.
Yeah, and then you're passive to a lot of BS.
Mm-hmm.
You're right. So I'm glad you say that. I'm definitely gonna make sure that whenever I do feel that way, I don't really just talk, or at least talk to certain people like that. But I'll talk to you though.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't share any with anybody how I felt when I was going through this slow season. Because I was being mistreated unjustly. And I've always wanted to have a real nice, spot for my family. and I didn't want to make it this far, and the Creator all of a sudden snatch it right out from under me, right in front of them. That just wasn't going to happen, So I think when the Creator saw that I really meant fuck you, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
You like, okay, I see. This ain't no punk here. I created. hmm Yep. So just whenever you're ready to take that pause and allow yourself to get inside yourself and allow yourself to heal from your father and all of that. And actually, the next time he gets on your case about something, check yourself.
I know. I admit, one thing I learned about myself is that he is my Achilles heel, or he has been. I ain't gonna say he is, because that's implying that even now, but he has been. I know, like it's kind of like what you were saying earlier about when you know how somebody or something is. Like, why do we always constantly bring up that conflict within us? And that's something that I've been wrestling with. Like, if I know he a certain way, then why am I even tripping?
And you want to know another word that I threw away also, that last week I threw it away. Tired.
Yeah. I know me. A lot of times when I'm thinking, I'm like, I'm tired of this. I'm tired of that. It makes you more tired, and it brings up that pain, and it weighs you down. So you're right. We got to kill that too.
That has a vampire type spirit to it. It sucks. It sucks you. It sucks you into a level of fatigue. And then when you look at it for what it is, it's actually a form of self-destruction, because you actually choose it. Oh man, I'm tired of hearing my dad. Stop. Leave that alone, and just stand there and listen to him and check yourself. And while he's talking, even though you don't like what he's saying about, check yourself. Check yourself. Don't choose to allow it to affect you. Let him talk. That's like when my dad came out here and he used the whole bastard thing about my sons. I didn't get emotional with him. I just got intellectual with him, and I broke it down to the point to where I had his wife laughing at him, and she was like, "Can you answer his question, Van?" And he just sat there and just shook his head and said, "Lord have mercy, this boy's mine." I went intellectual on him. I didn't go, "Oh, you don't call my sons bastard." Oh, come on. Don't feed into the ignorance. Don't fan the fire. Because that was demonic. And just like he said in Devil's Advocate, I'm a fan of man. You remember when he said that?
Yeah, that was one of the best things.
I'm a fan of man. In other words, I fan the fire. And because I fan the fire, I'm a humanist. I understand, I cared about what he wanted, and I never judged him. Why? Because I never rejected him. Those are some true words, but he's full of shit. At the same time, he claims that he's not. I never judged him. So in other words, I never warned him, and I never rejected him. Therefore, I allowed him. I said, "Go ahead. It's already. It's all right for you to destroy yourself. I got your back." And he's the one who created the destructive device, but all at the same time, who created this devil?
Womp. We know who did that.
Exactly.
According to the doctrine.
So once you understand how all of this is created and it all functions, you are only left with intelligence in order to make yourself through this. So when it comes to somebody telling you that it's wrong for you to say that you deserve better, they're lying to you. It's not a feminist thing to say I deserve better. No, you've been affected by some woman that you could not satisfy. And when she looked at him, she said, "You know what? I deserve better than this." And that was that beat up on his ego. And one of the reasons why it beat up on his ego so bad is because he wasn't able to give her more than what she had at the present. If she felt like she deserved better, he couldn't supply it. And so he took that disappointment and he puts it, every time he hears somebody else say that, even though if it's not of coming from another woman, he felt, oh, that's a feminist thing. That's a feminist thing. You know, you you know, these folks walking around talking about they deserve better. What's wrong with that? He ain't never gonna get nowhere as long as he understands it like that. Now maybe you can go back and it's up to you. But you can crack some atoms open in his mind. Let him know it's nothing wrong with you um, feeling as though you deserve better for yourself, because isn't that what growth is all about? That's
Yeah, I'm gonna do it, especially once I listen to the conversation. Yeah, I can hear myself and see where I went wrong.
Come on, John. I'm not condemning you.
I know.
Because your condition, it wasn't something that you provoked. That was just the effects of your father and this whole home environment thing, and
but then the slow season too.
Yeah, the slow season, and this guy who disappointed you with your business, and you want to do right by the people over there. That's all that was. But all at the same time, when you're in that condition and here's somebody coming to you with some information, you're in a dangerous condition right there. That's why sometimes when you're feeling like that, when there's a whole lot going on inside of you, you have to pause. You just can't just talk to anybody. You have to pause. And like, okay, I'm not feeling good right now. And so you're in a very vulnerable position, and sometimes you don't need to pick up the phone and call just anybody. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
See, because just calling just anybody when you're feeling like that, it's not beneficial.
Well, that's another reason why I hadn't it's most of the time we talk, it's like a long gap. Cause I don't really like to talk to him when I'm kind of like that. Well, I know like with him, he that's why he said at the end, don't be a stranger, because normally it takes a while for me to call. Not because I don't want to, but because I only talk to certain people like you. I can be very vulnerable and be my full self. Whereas with people like him, I know I kind of have to dial that down. Cause I know he won't be able to talk to me and understand me the way you will. So. I should have just followed my own intuition when, just talk to him when I'm on a more upbeat level and not messed up.
Because I'm going to tell you, you probably can tell by my timeline. There's only two people I talk to. You and Alexis. That's it.
Right.
It's only
what about Carl Marshall?
No, I don't really talk to Carl as much no more, because Carl he's very much involved in his own life. Some people fade away, but they still near.
Right.
They still, he's still there. It's just that he's involved in what he's doing, and I'm doing my thing. And I'm just one of those brothers that's there for him when he needs me.
At one point, I remember shit. Then weren't y'all worried that he was still alive or something? Was that him? Was that another one of your friends that you said nobody know where they was at?
It was him.
Oh, okay, I remember that. Okay, I was just making sure. Okay, I'm glad to know it sounded like he back wherever he's supposed to be, right?
Yeah. Well, what was going on with Carl is that Carl is he's working for this security company, and he's gotten used to being responsible, and he likes it. And so what happened was his card, something that he needs, sheriff's card or something like that, had it was suspended, and then he found out that it was because of a ticket that he had accumulated when he went to visit his kid's mother down south. And so it hit him at a time that he couldn't afford to go back and take care of the ticket. And so he went into a deep depression because he didn't have any money to take care of.
Oh, okay.
And so it put his job in limbo. And so what happened was he worked out something with the courts out there, I believe it was in Mississippi, to where they lifted the suspension from his sheriff's card so he can go back to work, and then he'll just pay the ticket by way of email or something like that. And so this,
Oh, okay. Well, I'm glad to know that he's picking himself back up again.
yeah, he's doing great. Yeah, he's doing great. He's just one of those brothers that um, when he needs me, I'm there for him, and when I need him, then he's there for me. That's just like he met up with me um, one time during this just past slow season. He called me. He said, "Hey, bro, you got some money?" And I'm like, "Nah." He said, "Okay, I got $30." He said, "Just meet me up here at this Walgreens because he didn't have time to come here." He said, "So just meet me up at the Walgreens. I'll give you $30 just for your pocket." So I met up there with him. He gave me $30 and stuff like that. So
Right.
I even learned something that night as I was walking back here. I don't think I ever shared it with you. For somebody who used to have a lot of money and who was able to go places at will, I'm comparing that to my present. I'm like, ooh, that's painful. I'm like, okay, what's painful about this? Is it ego, or is it the reality that nothing is always up? You hit your low points, and therefore nothing is permanent. So what is it that I'm attached to? You're attached to that image of things being up all the time. So there was an attachment that I had to let go of that, because the whole reality is everything is not going to stay the same all the time. You're going to have ups and downs.
Right.
Because that's the way this journey is designed. Okay, well, is there anything I can do about that design? No, you can't. And that's the trap, pretty much. So is it a trap or is it a reality? It's the reality. Okay, let's throw the trap thing away. We're not going to feel as though we're trapped into something anymore. We're just going to face the reality over something that we don't have no control over. So wait a minute. How can I face something and at the same time feel as though I don't have any control over it? You have to accept the fact that you don't have any control over anything, and accept the reality, and just be the water in the river of stones, and don't even worry about the stones no more. You just have to flow around it, because that's the design. It's all about how we choose to respond to it, and all of that goes back to the insight that me and you were just talking about. It goes back to the insight. How do I respond to this? Do I let this affect me? Do I let what my dad is going to say to me, when I already know that this man gets on my nerves, and I know he's trying to bring me up by talking me down, because he's just some old ignorant country nigga. Now by me knowing all of this about my dad, why am I choosing to get upset?
You right.
I just stand there and just let him say what he had to say. Okay, Dad, I hear you. I understand you. How's your day? Yeah, man, my day is fine. Don't you worry about my day. Okay, Dad, I'm just asking you. All right, man, I hear you. That's gonna make him look at himself. He's gonna walk away like, I guess I must be too hard on him. No, you hard on yourself. So why don't you stop being a fool and come up a little bit? Because no matter how aggressive you are towards that man, whatever is designed for his life is going to happen when it's supposed to happen, and not when you think that it should happen. That's one thing that my dad had to learn about me. But I'm a unique type child. I'm a bit unique, because David's going to do whatever the hell he wants to do when he wants to do it. You can throw him in the street, you can say whatever you want. David is going to come up. I'm one of those brothers. I can hit rock bottom, and I can end up sleeping in. I can end up living with somebody sleeping on their floor. But you just give me a couple of months, I'll be back on top. And that's
Yeah.
one thing that I do know about me. That's one thing that I've always known. The Creator designed that in my life. That's like I tell my sons that um, If it's one thing that you guys know about your dad is that I'll be down, but I won't be down for long. You know, and by me knowing that that's my design, why should I be depressed about being down? And so I had to learn that even after this past slow season. I had to realize that about my life's design. So just study yourself, man. You know, look at how go inside and recognize that deceptive, you might as well say, intelligence that tells you, okay, now when he's done saying it, you're gonna get upset about it. You're gonna notice a time in between when he's done talking and a time to where you choose to be upset. You really don't have to get upset because you already know how he is. You already know, you know, you know yourself long enough to know, well, I don't like the way he talks to me because I'm not the person that he says that I am. Okay, now look, if you know this, why are you getting upset?
You right.
And then that's when that deceptive intelligence comes and rationalizes it because he gets on my nerves. Hey, you know what? Goodbye. Okay, I'm not going to listen to you anymore. There is no more because he gets on my nerves. Of course he does. You want to know why he gets on your nerves? Because you and him are two different individuals. He's who he is, and you're who you are. Concentrate on one thing: your life. Recognize your life's design, and that ain't no new age talking. Okay, that's something that was just shown to me. You know, I even heard homeboy on the phone in that conversation. He used the term low vibrations. I'm like, oh, okay, this is one of these vibrating energy.
Nah, he ain't really a new ager like that, but he did use that term.
Mm-hmm.
I know you hate that term.
Low vibrations, you know, because it actually it doesn't mean anything. That's just like there's a sister that I've been knowing for a while. She's on my list, and she's always bragging about being a vegan. Okay, you're vegetarian, so what? You don't eat meat, okay? And you don't eat meat, okay? What are you doing for the community? What are you doing for humanity? It sounds like to me the only person you're really concerned about is yourself. And you're locked into you might as well say a theology. I don't eat meat, I only eat fruit. Fine. That's great. That's great for you. But not everybody can be a vegan. Does that make them less of a human being than you? Does that make them less than you and you more than them? I don't get it. Why do they always brag about being a vegetarian? So does that help your way of thinking, your perception? I don't get it. How is that helping everybody else? Because if you're only concerned of yourself, why don't you keep that information to yourself? Who cares? You know, if you being a vegetarian, if it's helping your mind and if it's helping your way of thinking, why don't you ever talk about that? I mean, shouldn't that be the primary encouraging factor that you should be telling people as far as being a vegetarian is concerned? I never hear her talking about the effects of being a vegetarian, other than the fact that she is one. So what?
Yeah, a lot of them vegetarians and vegans to me are like cult members, the way they act.
Yeah. I don't eat meat. Ha ha ha. You do. Ha ha ha. Okay, fine. So what? I eat meat. And if you being a vegetarian is making you that ignorant, then you're no different than the Christian that says, I'm a Christian and you're not. I'm conscious and you're not. You know what? If being conscious makes you condemn people who, to your understanding, is not conscious, then you're no different than a Christian. That's just like I put up a post that nobody touched. Nobody touched it when I said that if you, it's talking about giving a meaning or a definition to what being conscious means, puts the whole implication to sleep. Nobody touched that because I'm like, I know they looked at that like, what is he talking about? It's simple. Just read it. If you try to give meaning of what consciousness actually means, it puts the whole thing to sleep. Because when you're really conscious of something, there is no definition.
It's like just trying to define what God is. You can't. Don't even try. Because when you try, you limit it.
Right. So when somebody come up and say, I'm a conscious brother, what do you mean by your conscious? Conscious means, as soon as you give it meaning, you fall right back to sleep. And a lot of people are like, what do you mean about that? When you give it a definition, when you give it a meaning, you go back into the box. And therefore, you limit yourself. You become a cult member, just like you say. Yep. But I'm a most likely give you a ring back around 11 o'clock my time, man.
Okay, man. All right, man. Love you, man. I'll be here.
You too, man.
All right, peace.
Peace.